Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm Rick Chepo with Dmca Agent Service.com. So today we're starting a number of videos that are going to look at just some foundational introductory topics related to the DMCA. So if you're new to the DMCA and wondering what the heck it is, these videos will hopefully help explain that. So what is a DMCA agent? Let's take a look at that issue. Well, here's the important thing to understand about the DMCA. It was a law, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, created in the U.S. in 1998, enacted in October of that year, signed into law by President Clinton. Now, if you remember back in 1998, the internet was just kind of bubbling up as a new commercial medium. The internet itself had been around for, quite a bit longer, but we were seeing the first kind of hints that we were going to have some kind of a commercial application. Google was just getting started. There was no Facebook, there was no YouTube yet or anything of this sort. And so the federal government decided to pass a number of laws to try to protect the internet from lawsuits and try to give it room to grow as a commercial medium. And, let's see what comes of it. Obviously, it took off. 20 years later, I think we can all agree. Yeah, okay, it got big. But at that time, there were real questions about whether any of these, this online thing would actually ever turn into any kind of viable, medium. Remember, back in 1998, we were still on dial-up modems. And if you don't know what dial-up modems are, well, go look it up on YouTube and cringe. It's a horror movie. It used to take 5 or 10 minutes just to get onto the internet. And it made this horrible screeching noise. Oh, this is the worst. So that's when the DMCA was passed. Now, what the DMCA basically says in this context is a website or an app cannot be held liable for copyright infringement based on content uploaded by users. So let's take a forum. Let's say you start a forum on the coronavirus, because of course we haven't heard enough about that. But you start a forum on it, and a bunch of people join, and the people start posting comments and links to other websites, and maybe copying graphics and infographics and things of that sort from other sites, photos, videos, whatever, and posting them to your forum. Well, as a forum owner, you have no idea if any of this stuff is being used with permission or not, or is any copyright infringement going on, any of this kind of stuff. And so under the DMCA, we're going to say, hey, don't worry about it. You're immune from copyright infringement claims based on this content that your users are uploading. Just carte blanche. And so, as you can imagine, this is a very valuable immunity. Now, it does come with a catch, and the catch is that you have to follow a compliance process. And the compliance process is pretty basic, but one of the critical components of it is you have to select and publish DMCA agent information. So the DMCA agent is going to be the person who's going to receive copyright complaints on behalf of your website or app. So if we use our forum example, let's say CNN, somebody at CNN sees your forum, they pop onto it and they see one of their graphics has been copied and reposted to your forum without permission. And they want to contact you to say, hey, this is being used without our permission. This is copyright infringement. They're going to look on your site for the DMCA agent information, and they're going to send their complaint to that DMCA agent. And that's what the agent does. Now, the agent's information, if you want to read the code on what's required for the agents, it's section 512C. It'll cure insomnia. If you have insomnia, can't sleep one night, go read it. But the agent information is going to be published on your website or your app, whatever you have. It's typically going to be in something called a DMCA policy. You often go down to the footer of these sites and you'll see a link for DMCA or copyright or abuse, and that'll take you to the policy. It'll contain the agent's information, their name, their address, their phone number, and their email address. Basically, locations where the complaint can be submitted. The agent will also be listed, also has to be listed in an online database maintained by the Copyright Office. And basically on that, you're going to see some of your business information, the name of your business, the address, and the properties protected, and then the agent's information as well. The big key to it is to understand is the agent's information is going to be public. And so you, as the owner of the website or app, have to decide if you want to list yourself as the agent and have your information public, or go with a third-party service. You can do either. Doesn't matter. But it's just a question of privacy and, how do you feel about that? You can use third-party services. Obviously, we're one, DmcaAgentService.com. We charge $70 a year, and our agent information will be listed instead of your personal information. But that's basically the role. So copyright comes into the agent, and the agent hands it off to you for processing. There's a compliance process. It's not particularly difficult. If you go to our site, dmcaagentservice.com, you can see articles on the menu about what is the DMCA compliance process. But that's basically what you're doing. Now you have to have a DMCA agent. If it's you, somebody else, doesn't matter, but you have to have one. You have to list them on your site, and you have to register them with the Copyright Office. If you do not take this step, you waive the DMCA safe harbor. Let me say that again. If you do not take this step, you lose the immunity. So incredibly important to have a DMCA agent. So make sure that you get a grasp of what it is. You get one on your site, whether you do it yourself, you pick somebody else, doesn't matter. Make sure you have one. If you have a site that allows user-generated content in any way, copyright infringement claims are pretty much the most common legal claim online. So protect yourself. Very important. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, you post them below, or you can reach out to us at dmcaagentservice.com. Be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching. Have yourself a good one.